Hey, what's up? This is Joey from Sacramento, California. I'm an artist and entrepreneur, and I'm on Grown Man Sessions.
What's up, guys? We're back on Grown Man Sessions, and this is a real blessing, man. Like this is a real special moment for me. I get to talk to my boy, man, my longtime homie, Jose Ramirez. What's up, brother?
What's up, my dude, my bro, man? So glad to be on and be able to rap with you.
Yeah, man. Like, thank you for coming on Grown Man Sessions, man. I really appreciate it, bro. I know, like, it's been a long time coming, man, but I feel like, the stars are realigning, and it's about time we get things going again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro, a lot going on, man. We're just kicking this new year off, and yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, man. So, a lot of people may know that me and Joey go back, but I do want to share something that most people don't know, and I'm not trying to damper the mood, but it's just something that stands out to me in my journey. Is that I've told people in the past, man, that I almost died back in 2011, but not a lot of people know that you were the last person that I pretty much was with that night, bro. Like, and I swear, dude, like I thank God that things ended up the way that they did because had you not come over to my apartment that night, dude, I probably would have started drinking by myself and I probably would have died, bro. Like serious.
Man, it's a trip, bro, because I remember that weekend real clear, and I remember you was going through it. So I just remember my focus was like, let's keep this fool entertained. You know what I'm saying? Let's just kick it, camaraderie, or you know what I'm saying, or just my boy. Like I don't know, let's just be out, bro. So of course, we kept busy, Um, but you know what? The pieces fall where they do, man. And I know you came out the other end of that just 100 times more stronger, bro. And shit, man, here we are.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Yeah, man, it's crazy when I think about it, like it sucks to have to go through things like that, man. But I feel like things happen for a reason, man. And like we kind of just were talking about how like when I moved to LA, like you hooked me up with your cousins, and I had a place to stay. And man, like that, like you probably like affected the trajectory of my life more than like on more than one occasion, bro, for real. Because like had you not hooked me up with them, like I don't know where I would have stayed because I was able to get on my feet out here in LA and like really like stack my money and just get my life together, man.
I mean, dude, I'm glad that one for the kind words and that my fam was able to be your fam and help you on your journey. But I mean, you're a survivor regardless, bro. I know you would have made it, but man, I'm just honored to be mentioned in your story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we go back, bro. It's like where do we start, bro? Like
I mean, this is pre-grown man, pre-business, pre anything creative. Just some fools like running around, causing some havoc that we probably shouldn't even get into right here. But
yeah, man.
yeah,
So let me ask you this, bro. Like, I always tell people that regardless, so I'm gonna kind of like poke at the first dirt subject. So I say,
hmm
regardless of whether or not like we did music, I feel like everybody in first dirt, like if we would have like been like hustling like something else, like if it would have been a different project outside of music, like it still would have been something that we would have done because I felt like what brought us all together is that we were all hustlers. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, man, we were resilient, scrappy, resourceful. Yeah, anything we would have put our hands on. You're right, bro, because we was dumbass, young, and hungry, and yeah, that's all we knew was all gas. You know what I mean? No brakes, and we
No
had fun,
breaks.
man. Um, and I can say we learned a whole lot during that too, because um, we were all basically just forged in the fire. You know what I mean? I mean, I
Hmm.
know you went on to get your degree afterwards and further educate yourself, but in the beginning, nah, we was just running. You know what I mean?
What do you think is like one of the biggest lessons like you learned from that time of our time together doing first dirt business?
Man,
Wait, hold on. Before you answer that though, I just want to kind of like give people an idea of where first dirt came from because people don't really know like the history behind the name First Dirt.
Well, not
So
only
like,
that, but I know where you're gonna go. But then there's also knowledge you new listeners. So besides the history of the name, maybe give a quick layout of what it is too, or you know what I mean, a brief snapshot.
all right, so before I we talk about how the name came about, First Dirt was our our music group, pretty much like our brand, our hustling like thing that we did together like for a
Our
while, man.
label,
So
baby, our brand.
our yeah, our label. So basically, we did music, we threw shows, like we promoted like crazy, like we did events, like we did photos, we did interviews. Like I mean, I'm talking about
It
like
was a
A to
brand and a
Z.
label, right? You are starter fucking star MC. You know what I'm saying? I was in the background. You was dropping mixtapes and projects and EPs and you know what I'm saying? I was just running alongside you. We was booking tours and shows and promoting and but yeah, basically a label and a brand, right? So that's what First Dirt kind of is. Yeah, not was, but is.
Is baby. I still remember doing that photo shoot where we were driving around in your Cadillac and it was probably raining like crazy. And
Uh-huh.
we were stopping at different locations in downtown and you were like taking pictures, bro. And those ended up being some of the sickest pictures that I had.
We took those in my alley behind my house. Behind the house I'm in now.
Oh, that was dope.
Yeah, right here by the tracks. Yeah, I know exactly which pictures y'all posted with the corona. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was good times. So yeah, the name, it's crazy how like the name came about too, or like how all of it started to piece itself together. Because I remember like me, you, and Benny were sitting at some I don't know where we were at, but we were like hanging out one time,
I'm gonna
and I
say
remember,
streets.
yeah, I think it was like Streets of London, right?
Hmm.
And I remember you said the name, and for some reason it just stuck with me. I was like, dude, that sounds dope. And I remember I went home and I just started like writing it. I was like, oh man, I couldn't
Yeah.
get it out of my head. And then finally I came
Yeah.
back, I showed you guys. I was like, what do you guys think of this?
All right, so okay, so I had been sitting on it and saving that, right? I didn't know what I was gonna use it for, but I was like, man, this shit sounds dope, and I know we could do something with it, right? And then I was primarily graphic design. You were starting to like rap. And then, so then I was like, well, you needed some design. Oh no, I was pushing some little clothing line. I was doing t-shirts.
Was that
Um,
West Up? Oh no, that was
no, that was
Luho.
pre-West up, Luho brand.
Luho brand.
and
I remember
and
that.
then yeah, so I was gonna help you out with graphics, and then we just kept working together enough to where like, we need to team up more. And then I was like, all right, I got this name. I don't know if I want to share it yet. And I was like, all right, here it is. And I was like, First Dirt. Yeah, and then there wasn't even a question after that. You hit me the next day with the logo you drew, and then it was curtains.
Oh man, dude, that was so dope.
Yeah.
And I remember like I still remember like ever since the beginning, bro, like when people would hear that, like First Dirt, like it was always like something that you could tell it was kind of like awkward rolling off their tongue, but like
Yeah.
it made them think. It made them like be
Yeah.
like, What is that? Why that? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah, we always got the dopest reactions when we, showed up or said who we were or whatever, you know what I mean? But yeah, bro.
So back to my question though, like what do you think is the biggest thing that you learned from that like time frame of us starting off and like and building it up?
Yeah, man. That's a loaded question. Um, I mean, so much. I mean, now, what I'm finding to be one of my biggest assets is the relationships and networks that I've preserved since back then.
Hmm.
So, you know what I mean? Because you never know what hand you shake today's gonna where it's gonna be tomorrow or down the road. So it's a trip to look back and think like, damn, like my network's like 15, 20 years deep. You know what I mean? From with people that are still moving in the mix and that I, still kind of interact with and whether it's through art, music, or just business. People still wiggle and shake. So I would say like one, just and I've always been a social person, so that's kind of always helped me with that type of ability to network and maintain relationships. But I would think just preserving and kind of learning to watch things from a little bit of a distance,
Hmm.
but that's just kind of always been in my nature too. But yeah, because it's a trip that I'm still mingling with people from back then that were in the music mix, but now they might be messing with me in the art or the nonprofit mix. So it's just a trip to see how everyone moves along, kind of parallel and crisscrosses over time. But yeah, maintain your networks, man, and you know, kind of think before you react. Because you know what I've found when maintaining a network, the high road or a shut mouth a lot of times is going to be your route. Especially if I don't know, and maybe I'm saying this out of maybe reaction to haters or something, but um, you know, a lot of times they're going to dig themselves in a hole. And I think sometimes a shut mouth helps you more think about your reaction rather than approach it emotionally or something.
Yeah, I totally know what you mean. It changes the dynamic of your energy too, because then you're not feeding into it. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
that make
exactly that. And you haven't played your hand yet. You know what I'm saying?
what do you think is something if you could go back, whether it be like personal or business wise, like if you could go back, what is something that you think you might have done different?
Man, maybe one thing. Well, okay, look, we was in the entertainment mix. That's a social ass place. I ain't gonna lie, man. My 20s were dope as F, right? Like, but I think I could have balanced the business a little more. And then, especially kind of getting thrown into it, just kind of on the whim and out of passion without a formal foundation as far as education or, the even, what might be basic business in a textbook, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe a little bit of that, but like I was telling you earlier, man, like you couldn't tell us nothing, and we was just ready to go, which is fine. And I would never trade any of my experience, but looking back, I don't know, maybe a little more balance between the play and the kick it,
yeah, for sure.
and maybe something that could have offered a little more a structure. You know what I mean? Because also having been self-employed for a long time. Um, I also had the luxury of, making my own schedule, which, did kind of fluctuate around whatever's going on. But sometimes something that forces you to have a little structure,
Hmm.
you know what I mean, is kind of a molding you could take into other things.
For sure. Yeah, I know what you mean about the social stuff because whenever people ask me that, I always say the same thing, man. Like I probably wouldn't have partied as much because I remember, dude, I remember us being at like events and just being just hammered, and I'm like, all right, like it's cool, but like if I would have known what I know now, like I would have gotten more out of the events. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, think about it though. I mean, at this, yeah, we would have, but I mean, I mean, we were hosting our own shows. We were on other people's shows. We had guest lists at clubs. We were filling tables. You know, um, we had guest lists across town, like at two spots a night sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I wouldn't take it back at all. But you're right, a little
Yeah.
balance, right?
Oh man, we had some good times, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Yeah. It's kind of a trip to reflect back on them questions, but yeah.
So fast forward, man. Now onto new ventures and new projects. As long as I've known you, man, you've always been a part of the Washington Neighborhood Center. Tell me about that journey, bro, because like I know that I've seen you like invest a lot of time into that place, bro, and to me, like just from an outside perspective, that place has always held a special place in my heart because it's the very first time I went to a hip hop show when I was like, I must have been like 15, 14 or 15, and I saw the Cuff perform. and
Ooh,
that's the very first live hip hop show I ever saw, and that's
damn.
what sparked my interest to want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Even more. So, like, tell me about like like your motivation to be involved in that, and like what you get out of it on the fulfillment side.
Yeah, man. I mean, one I think that's super significant that your one of your first shows that like kind of turned you on to like the music was at the center. Not only that, but it was Sacktown Hometown Heroes, the Cuff. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Shout out to all of them. But I mean, quick background for your listeners. So the center or the Washington Neighborhood Center is a nonprofit in downtown Sacramento, community center focused on the art, academics, and health, so physical and mental and all that. So it's essentially a community center in downtown. So it's a big ass building with a lot of cool stuff going on. Um, so well, one it's in downtown, and literally just blocks from my house. So it's in the immediate community that I'm in and from and everything like that. And my family has a big history in this neighborhood too, and have a history at the community center since before I was even around because the place has been around since the 50s.
Hmm.
So that's just like a little background on it. I was never a community dude, or I don't know, even tripped off that at all. But you know what? It's a very cultural place, and it's significant to the Chicano movement and a lot of Chicano history. And so basically, bottom line is, I'm a self-employed graphic designer. I'm kicking it. I'm doing shows with you on the weekends, messing around with, doing marketing and creating materials and just kicking it right. And my boy Tomas Montoya of the RCAF, he's like the director or maybe the president at the time. I'm not sure, but I see him trying to get it going.
Good.
All right, so Tomas is over there hustling and bustling like a G, trying to kind of help revive an old organization, right?
Hmm.
And so I noticed he could use some help with graphic design and some marketing and promoting of their little events and their fundraisers. So I was like, hey man, let me donate a flyer or two, and let me help you repost and this and that. So I kind of initially just got involved to help promoting, and just like any organization in need with time, hey, while you're at it, can you do this or this or that? And my responsibility kind of increased, and um, you know, right as I was coming on, the board at the time was kind of transitioning on its way out for different reasons. Some people were moving out of town or career change or something. And I kind of ended up being one of the last volunteers to move into a board position and kind of not take over, but take on the rebuild, and
Hmm.
um, and at this time, the center's been around since '56, so it's been rocking for a long time. And just like any organization that long, they got their ups and downs and their ebbs and flows, just like as markets and leadership change and things like that. So basically, I'm the next cat in line. And bottom line, and there was quite a bit of house cleaning to do. No blame to anyone specifically, but just over time, things fell through the cracks, and it's a trip. Well, not to put it all out there, but like, so I show up and I'm like, all right, cool. Let's get some new people involved. And I go check in with, like all the main feds and state. And hey, I'm Joey. What's going on? This is the center. How do I put my name down or what's cracking? And they're like, oh, we've been looking for you guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh shit, right? So anyway, there was some back fees that were pretty significant, man. And
Oh, damn.
yeah, so there was a lien on the building. And they're like, yeah, so here you go. It looks like you're scheduled for auction, right? Where yeah. Uh, I don't think I've ever even said this public or anything, right? But anyways, and like I said, no fault to no one. Just like this bill, this thing, this, that, whatever, things fell through the crack. Like I said, the center went through a lot of changes of management over time. And anyways, there was a significant amount of money due in a really short amount of time. And yeah, the center had an auction date ready to rock. So we had like, by the time I found out, we had weeks, and we had to get like some serious dough quick. And So I kind of started bugging around town to people that I knew with money, right? And just kind of coming with stupid ideas, right? And I went to Phil Cerner. I was like, man, here's an idea. He county supervisor, old school RCAF, the son of former mayor
Joe
Joe
Cerner.
Cernan.
Hmm.
Yeah, who's also old school RCAF and has a super deep history with the center,
Okay.
right? Um, and so the in reference RCAF, the Royal Chicano Air Force,
Hmm.
old school Chicano activist group. The center used to be their home base, Jose Montoya and all them. Um, but anyway, so I tap in with Phil and I'm like, look, dude, here's the situation. This shit might turn into a Starbucks if you don't help me. And then so I I kind of come at him with a weird idea, and he's like, dude, no, 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 no. He's like, no, I'm not doing that. And then I don't, it was just dumb. I don't want to say the idea, but he's like, here's what I will do. He's like, I'm gonna get you this one meeting with one person, right? And then do your sign of the cross and cross your fingers. And I was like, fine. So he hooks me up with a prominent Sacramento developer, right? And so I just kind of go in there and one of the coolest people you'll ever meet, dude. And it's a trip because I've never told the full story with names. I guess it's no big deal. But anyways, like the Takulos family from here in Sacramento. Um, I met with Angelo Takulos, major developer, dude. He's in his 80s, old cat, still kicking like a G, right? So I take a quick meeting with him. One of the coolest dudes you ever rap with. One of the most intelligent, inspiring people you ever rap with. Anyways, we hit it off. I told him what I needed. He's like, I got you. So he cut a check, right, for the amount needed, and and you know what? Just over the years, I'm sure there's plenty of stories of people that could say how the center might have been saved once or twice or a dozen times. And I'm not saying this is any like different or better than any other stories that are out there because the center's got a history way richer than what I could express here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, so he came through, but he told me a dope ass story, dude. So first of all, this dude's name's Angelo Tsakoulos, super OG Greek dude, immigrant in his 80s, right? And he's like the reason like we have things like Laguna West or Natomas. I'm talking like massive development, right?
Oh wow.
Big, big, huge projects all throughout Sacramento. Anyway, so he in that meeting, he told me his story. He's like, man, you know what? When I was a little kid, 8 years old, I immigrated away from Greece by myself. And he's like, I just got on a boat, dude, and I was on a boat. I don't even know for how long. He said to him, it felt like weeks. And he would just eat like a couple pieces of shrimp a day, whatever he could like scrounge up on his boat full of people kind of migrating and immigrating. And and he goes, man, I just woke up after hella long and being asleep. I look up, I see this big ass statue. It's like the Statue of Liberty, right? And he's like, oh shit, I'm in the States, New York. Wow. And then he's like, man, then I heard I had an uncle in California. That took me like another few months to get there as a little kid, just kind of bumming rides, jumping on the trains like the hobos and this and that. Of course, I'm paraphrasing his story, right? And then and he goes, and I get to Sacramento, and he goes, I don't know anybody, and so I go straight to the fields and I start working with the Mexicans,
Oh
and that's
wow.
where I met my best friend, my best homie for life as a little kid, and his family hella looked out for me was Joe Cerna, because Joe
Oh
Cerna, our
wow.
former mayor, grew up in the fields, also working with the farm workers, and so that's where they met, and then they grew up as homies, and then sure thing, they stay boys, and one goes on to become the mayor, the other goes on to become a big ass developer, and they just kind of hella side note tangent story, but yeah.
Wow. That's
But
pretty
it's a
cool,
trip though.
man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I thought it was a trip and to hear that from him and in the way he kind of told it and then and just while he's telling me, I'm thinking of his accomplishments and shit. I'm like, damn, this dude's the truth.
Yeah. I mean, I always wonder, like, what it takes to get to that level. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, even if you do come from a background of like money and power, I mean, I'm sure it's still a challenge to try to get to that level of becoming like a big time developer in any city, because then you're up against like a whole bunch of different set of like powers and interests. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, and just being an outsider and an immigrant sets up a whole other set of
Set of
barriers, But
Yeah, set of challenges. Yeah.
long story short, to get back to your point that I totally deviated from, yeah, so I started doing flyers and promoting at the center. Boom, checked in with the state feds. I owe money. Went to the OG Greek dude, kicked it down. My bad, bro. Where were we?
No, I was asking, like, do you find that work fulfilling?
Dude, you know what? It's a trip. It is very fulfilling. And
Mm,
and and again, like I said, nothing that I ever planned on, but you know, in hindsight, it's dope because it's a consolidation of all my skills and passions. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
hmm.
you and me were doing events. I'm an artist by trade and by passion. So, I'm a graphic designer and I also paint, etc. And I've always been super, not super, but involved with the Chicano community and things like that too. So,
Yeah.
it you just don't know how things always work out, but it just kind of consolidated a handful of my passions. Not to mention, it's in my immediate community that I live and have a history, and so um, you know, it's a trip, but it's quite fulfilling, man. But it took a while for me to have a little bit of a runway to have hindsight to look back and be like, damn, it's a trip, and kind of just reflect on the pieces that I fell where they did to get me there. So
I
yeah,
love I love how you incorporate like hip hop and art in the center, like, and you're always like bringing in like young and new artists, and you're giving them like a platform to like express themselves. Um, do you kind of feel like that's like something that like you wish you could have had when you were a young artist trying to come up?
absolutely. Yeah, for me it's a trip though because as I was getting into art and coming out of the commercial end of it, graphic wise, I was getting into the creative end paint wise as I was getting into the center, kind of at the same time.
Hmm.
So both of those kind on ramps kind of merged at the same time for me, which is dope because then I mean myself personally had somewhere to showcase myself, but I'm my background's in marketing and push, and so I could get people to a place and fill a building. So but no, I for sure see the advantage because now with the gallery and the curating of shows on a regular basis, I see what it does for new artists.
Right.
And not only that, not for them, not just for them. Like I'll see some accounts after a show or event of ours, kind of numbers move. But not only that, man, I see the people like light up because I mean, I guess I take it for granted that okay, I'm in a gallery environment on a regular basis, so I guess I forget maybe how much of a struggle it is for artists out there. So I love putting on new artists because they go hard. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love bringing in the dopest, from out of town, so and so or whatever, but they kind of show up and they know they're dope. You put on someone new who's hungry, who's budding, who's never showed. They bring their whole family, every coworker. They they sell one little thing for $50. They light the hell up like crazy. And then after that, I see them on Instagram, like, who's this new person? Like, oh shit, they're you know what I mean? And then so for me, it's like that. I'm like, okay, that's where what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. I'm always the dopest is the dope, just like you love to go see your favorite performance or concert or whatever. And I always incorporate. I try to incorporate every tier of artists in every show. That's why I mostly do group shows. So I want the budding with the dopest of the dope and everyone in between. And then that's just how you get a good vibe, I think. But I do got some solo shows coming up for various artists. So that's kind of new and exciting too. So.
That's kind of cool that you mix them together, because then you got the older ones might be reminded of like that young hunger, And then you got the young and hungry ones that could be like, dang, I want to be like that, and I can go network with that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's dope when the OGs are that humble because man, you see it in the room, and then it's really dope just to and especially kind of with the I guess the point of view there or the way I see networking and your network and how you treat it. It's almost like a living thing. You know what I mean? So it's dope to put certain people in front of other people.
Well, let me ask you this, man. What do you think is some of the most challenging things that you've had to overcome, and what do you think are some of the lessons that you've gotten from those challenges?
Um, well, you know what? I'd say whatever it is, it's probably ongoing. You know what I mean? It might not be something you always overcome, but you know what, man? I guess a challenge for me could be staying focused, only because I do have a few burners going at the same time at any given moment,
I
and you
know what
know,
you mean.
and there's people that can focus on one thing, an inch wide and a mile deep. You know what I mean? And I appreciate the hell out of that, and need to adopt a little more of that. But I also got that shiny thing syndrome, and um, there's just too
Right.
much dope shit to be involved with. So, but I do admit that, like if I could, I don't know, cut a couple things out, but I can't.
I totally know what you mean, man. It's
Yeah,
like I try to make sure I don't put too much on my plate because then it gets a little
piles
overwhelming
up.
sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah.
but then again, it's like you want to do all this cool stuff. But before we go, brother, I asked this of all the guests, and I just love the answers because they're always different. What do you think is the biggest thing that you've learned along your journey so far?
Yeah. You know what, man? And it's probably something that I'm just barely learning, right? So you could say it's a 40-year-old lesson in the works. But you know what, man? I feel like um I'm always grinding for the future or trying to correct something from the past. Just being here and now, bro, because I mean,
Oh,
really, this is the shit I'm here for. These interviews, this interaction, I'm here with this, that meal, that bite of this, that whatever. Don't let it pass you by, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know it's fun to look forward to some stuff in the future, and I know it's hard to forget some stuff from the past, but um, those are constant distractions from the only thing that matters right now. Damn it, you know what I'm saying? So um, just being present, bro.
it's so cool that you say that, man, because I feel like I've been really trying to focus on that over the past like few months. Cause I'm an overthinker by nature, bro. Like I'm thinking about a million things at a time. Yeah, I
That's
know.
me.
I know. So like, I'm examining things I did like, the other day, the other month, the other year. And then I'm also thinking like, okay, what do I need to do tomorrow, the next month, the next year? And then like how many other people I need to incorporate and all that. So it's like, man, I got my kid right here saying, Dad, let's play video games. Cool. Let's see
Yeah,
it.
exactly, bro. You know what? Like I've heard it called like just following the hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's either hell yeah or hell no, and just follow the yes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's super deep wisdom. Follow that.
I like that though. I like that. I like
Yeah.
simplifying things because a lot of this stuff can be challenging if you like overthink it or overcomplicate it. You know what I mean?
And don't get me wrong, I do that, and then and then I'll look back like, damn, I was tripping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man, I'm on the same page, bro. And he didn't even say 40, he said 34.
Yeah, 24. You're right, 24. No, I'm saying.
We gonna edit that out later.
Yeah, for sure.
Right on, man. I know we didn't get to talk about your new brand, Dope Bike Life, as much, man. But before we go, man, just tell everybody like what you got going on with that.
Yeah, man. Don't even trip off that. We was just shooting a breeze, but yeah, dope bike life, man. I don't know, man. I got a thing for this bike life, and um, I just always have. So, anyways, dope bike life. We just advocate for the bike life lifestyle. Our focus is on BMX cruisers, and we just try to highlight the dopest content. We host events, ride outs, ride along, kick it. But yeah, dopebikelife.com, dope bike life, Instagram, Facebook. Like I said, we just pushing the advocating for the bike life, man. Get off your couch, go ride a bike.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to do the same thing with my kids, bro. It's good exercise.
It's fun too.
Yeah. I seen pictures of you guys going out like so deep, man. I'm like, man, that looks fun.
Yeah, sometimes it's thick, man. Like we've done events that pull 500 bikes out. You
Woo!
know, it, it's a lot. It's kind of it's a lot. I mean, I've been kicking back on hosting lately, but they're always fun though, and yeah, it's a trip.
Oh, that's dope, man. Oh man, Joey, dude, it's so good to talk to you, dude, for real.
Yeah, man, for sure, for sure. And I know we got a lot to catch up on later on during the week, but man, it was an
Yeah.
honor to be on, dude. And I tell you, man, I see you making your moves. This is something the community needs. Grown man sessions, you know what I mean, educating the future. I appreciate you taking that mentality and approach with your project, bro. And you're gonna make some big old ripples out there, bro. So keep this hustle, and I'm gonna stay pushing it for what I mean, helping push.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. My whole hope is that like people stumble across this, hear something that they relate to, it resonates with them, and it helps them, go off into that positive direction, go off into that successful direction. So, listening to people like yourself, that are sharing like their formula and their sauce, I think that always helps. So thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I always end these interviews by saying, um, one person could change the world, but it's one person at a time, and that one person is you. If you guys got anything from this, hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave us a comment, and stay tuned next time for more Grown Man Sessions. Thanks, Joey. Talk to you next time, brother.
All right, you guys, be cool.
Peace.